What is the great enlightening being's dedication reaching all places? Here, when the enlightening beings cultivate all roots of goodness, they think, may the power of virtue of these roots of good reach all places, just as reality extends everywhere without exception, reaching all things, all worlds, all living beings, all lands, all phenomena, all space, all time, all that is compounded and uncompounded, all speech and sound. May these roots of goodness in the same way reach the abodes of all enlightened ones, and be as offerings to all those Buddhas, the past Buddhas whose vows are fulfilled, the future Buddhas fully adorned, and the present Buddhas, their lands, sites of enlightenment, and congregations filling all realms throughout the entirety of space. I aspire, by virtue of the powers of faith, by virtue of great knowledge without obstruction, by virtue of dedication of all roots of goodness, to present offerings like those of the celestials filling infinite worlds. Great enlightening beings also form this thought. The Buddhas pervade all realms in space. The worlds of all the unspeakably many world systems in the 10 directions produced by various actions. Unspeakably many Buddha lands, Buddha spheres, all kinds of worlds, infinite worlds, worlds without boundaries, rotating worlds, sideways worlds, worlds facing upward and downward. In all worlds such as these, they manifest a span of life and display various spiritual powers and demonstrations. With the knowledge of where all paths lead, they reveal everywhere the boundless freedom and spiritual power of the enlightened, the body of reality extending everywhere without distinction, equally entering all realms of phenomena and principles, the body of inherent Buddhahood, neither born nor perishing, yet by skillful expedients appearing throughout the world because of realizing the true nature of things, transcending all, because of attainment of non-regressing power, because of birth among the people of vast power, of unobstructed vision of the enlightened. Great enlightening beings, by all the roots of goodness that they plant, vow to make offerings to all such Buddhas with myriad beautiful flowers, myriad wonderful incenses, garlands, parasols, banners, pennants, clothing, lamps, and all other articles of adornment, and to do the same to effigies, tombs, and shrines of the Buddhas. Their roots of goodness they dedicate in this way, with unconfused dedication, single-minded dedication, autonomous dedication, respectful dedication, unshakable dedication, non-obsessive dedication, independent dedication, dedication without the mentality of worldly people, dedication without haste or struggle, dedication with a tranquil mind. They also think, throughout the space of the cosmos, in all ages, past, future, and present, the Buddhas, the world-honored ones, attain omniscience and become enlightened. With innumerable different names at different times, they manifest attainment of true awakening, abiding for a span of life throughout the future, each adorning themselves with the adornments of the realm of reality, their sites of enlightenment and congregations pervading the cosmos. In all lands they appear according to the time and perform the work of Buddhahood. To all these Buddhas I dedicate roots of goodness. I vow to offer respectfully countless canopies of fragrance, banners of fragrance, pennants of fragrance, drapes of fragrance, nets of fragrance, statues of fragrance, lights of fragrance, flames of fragrance, clouds of fragrance, thrones of fragrance, parks of fragrance, shelters of fragrance, worlds of fragrance, mountains of fragrance, seas of fragrance, rivers of fragrance, trees of fragrance, robes of fragrance, lotus blossoms of fragrance, palaces of fragrance, flowers of fragrance, infinite canopies of flowers, and so on up to infinite palaces of flowers, boundless canopies of garlands, and so on. up to boundless palaces of garlands, incomparably many canopies of powdered incense, and so on, up to incomparably many palaces of powdered incense. Uncountable canopies of perfume, and so on, up to uncountable palaces of perfume. Incalculable canopies of raiment, and so on, up to incalculable palaces of raiment. Inconceivable numbers of canopies of jewels, and so on, up to inconceivable numbers of palaces of jewels. Immeasurable numbers of canopies of lamps, and so on, up to immeasurable numbers of palaces of lamps. Unspeakable numbers of canopies of ornaments, and so on, up to unspeakable numbers of palaces of ornaments. Unspeakably unspeakable numbers of canopies, banners, pennants, drapes, nets, statues, lights, flames, clouds, seats, parks, shelters, lands, mountains, seas, rivers, trees, robes, lotus blossoms, and palaces, all made of jewel crystals, all unspeakably unspeakable in number. In each of these objects are countless balustrades, palaces, bowers, doors, crescents, defensive barriers, windows, pure jewels, and ornaments. All such offerings I present to those Buddhas aspiring to cause all worlds to become purified and all sentient beings to attain emancipation, abide in the stage of the 10 powers, and attain unhindered understanding of truth, to cause all sentient beings to be fully endowed with bases of goodness, to gain complete self-mastery, to have minds as infinite as space, going to all fields without going anywhere, entering all lands, passing on good ways, always able to see Buddhas, planting roots of goodness, accomplishing the great vehicle, not clinging to anything, replete with virtue, establishing innumerable practices, entering into all the boundless realms of reality, developing the spiritual faculties of the Buddhas, and attaining the omniscient knowledge of the enlightened ones. Just as selflessness includes all things, so also may my roots of goodness include all the Buddhas by making offerings to them all, include all truths by understanding them without hindrance, include all enlightening beings by ultimately having the same roots of goodness, include all practices of enlightening beings by fulfillment through the power of my original vows.